What's happening, people? Them back in the building. I never stream on Saturdays, but obviously, as you know from the title, and obviously, as you know from the massive deadline day finale rubbish you want to call it, Chelsea's game tomorrow is massive. So I had to get a stream in, and I had to get the mandem in as well. So make sure, be up, Chess. Hope you're good, G. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm calm. Just make sure you're hitting the like button, Godfrey. A lot of people join this chat. Still waiting to be a mod. Send me your URL right now. Send me your YouTube URL right now, and I'll put it in on the stream so you get that done, bro. So put in your YouTube URL. I'll copy and paste that in. But anybody who joins the live or on the playback, hit the like button as well. It's very, very important. It's very, very important, especially on Saturday, where a lot of people outside, they're busy and whatnot. Just get that done. So smash those likes and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Very, very, very important. In the building today, I got two man there. Man, I got ads joining as well. But all the man are going to be. Hopefully, Wolfie can join. He said he'd be free at 5:15-ish. So hopefully he can be free. We'll get him in. But yeah, man. Abs in the building. Talk the big game up. Jem's here as always. Big up, Jem, always joining through. Abs been this week as well. So it's good to get the man on the channel again, man. What man saying?
All good, man. All good. How we doing?
Yeah, man. Shit.
Just chilling, yeah?
Yeah, all good, bro. Listen.
Games today, but obviously, why are you calling it deadline day? Would you call the final game of the season? Just final game.
Nah, it's not deadline day. It's for us. It's.
I called it D-Day. Look at the.
It's D-Day. It's some event for any of my guys who watched WWE back in the day. It's Armageddon, innit? For us, that's what it is.
Jem shaking his head. He agrees.
It's a very important game. Like, this could make or break our club for the foreseeable future. If we win, then who knows? We could be in a position where we're back to challenging for major trophies soon. If we don't win, then we will most likely not be in a position where we'll be challenging for major trophies very soon. And for me, I can't lie, I'm bored of just sitting on the sidelines and watching other teams compete in Europe and shit. Right. It's just not fun. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Personally, I want to be back in the top competition in European football, because it means we can start to attract the big players and we can start to make the big signings that we've been crying out for ages. Guys who are really going to take us up a level so that we can get back to the level which I believe a club of our stature should be at. Because Chelsea should not be in the Europa League or in a position where we're just a top 4 team. I know that's what we've been for the last 10 years, but we've underachieved as a club. We should be doing a lot more. And this is our chance to hopefully get back on track to doing so.
Yeah, man. Someone said to me, I saw earlier, one of my guys, and he was like, Ches, if we win tomorrow, the project goes up by a lot. And I was like, it's true. If we lose tomorrow and get Europa League, the project just stagnates. Because
what I would say is it doesn't go up a lot automatically because
it would go a lot. It would go up a lot.
But what I mean by that is it depends on it depends on what they do in the summer. Like, if we get into the Champions League tomorrow, then it means the board have no excuses to penny pinch on big players because you've got Champions League football, you've got more money to work with. There's no excuses. You can't be telling me that we can't bring in this player or that player for wage structure, whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You have to deliver, bring in the main hitters that are going to take us up a level now. Because the time for this project stuff, project players, is over. We don't have time for that shit no more. We have to take that next step to move forward as a club. Because I genuinely believe there's a real opportunity to really break into that little bracket of teams who are starting to compete for major stuff. Because the league is not good. It's the worst it's been in a very long time, in my opinion. So this is our chance to really get a head start on everyone. But it only happens if we get Champions League football.
Shall I sort of explain before Jen comes in, pause, on why I tell you it will be a big improvement? Because it would mean that despite the fact that we all disagreed with them not getting a striker, despite the fact we all disagreed with them not getting a centre-back, despite the fact we haven't got a new goalkeeper, despite the fact our manager's new, we still made UCL football. So that means that the profile of players that we've all questioned have somehow managed with an average manager who's young, according to some, a decent team, with no spine and still make Champions League football. That's a big deal because it shows you that what their project is building can actually work to a certain degree. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to win the Champions League, you know what I'm saying? But to go from where we was 2 years ago, they just came in, to go to Conference League and win it potentially, to then go to top 4 or top 5 where we win the conference. We might finish third tomorrow if things go away, or fourth, whatever it is. That's a big deal. Like, that is a big deal. And that improvement with the winning the Conference League on the way is a lot better than what most teams have done in terms of their process. Do you know what I'm saying? So look at Liverpool, for example. Liverpool finished in the Europa League positions. They got to a final. They then got to a Champions League like 3-4 years into Klopp and then won it. So imagine Chelsea with the right signings could do the same thing, man. There's no reason why they couldn't. And like Don said, subscribe, man. Don't be a joke. Saturday, I don't care, man. Subscribe to the channel. Add to joining as well. Don't watch that. Hopefully, Wolfie can as well. But Jem, what do you think, man? Because I put in the timestamp. Like, if we win, the project for me does go up quite a bit. Like, a lot more people look at it and go, rah. With no spine, they still made UCL or 4th place with a Conference League. Fairs. If we don't win, then it's like, typical, innit? Cooking session. Do you view it as that, or like, are you just looking at it in terms of like, we need to get UCL anyway? Or
I don't think Champions League nights are the same without Chelsea representing England. If you want my honest opinion, all these other bozos that are in there don't really represent. At least when we represent and we go out, if it's usually quarters or series, we always entertain. You know, I think at the Real Madrid game when we went 3-0, was it 3-1 behind with Benzema scored a hat trick? I was at the bridge. Who expected that squad to go over to Blimmin Bernabeu and score 3 goals and have like a mad, you know what I mean, Matt? Like we just bring a lot of entertainment into it. Like it's just we've always been like that. We've always been like that. To be fair, we're always good in them sort of tournaments. That doesn't really matter too much about our squad at the time as well, which is very weird. But yeah, it's an important one, you know. I think because of the fact that we've been in the UCL position for so long this season, I think it's imperative that we make Champions League football. I was speaking on Don's channel yesterday with a couple of Forest fans, and they were saying how happy they were with just managing to get Europa League, and they just see Champions League as a bonus. You know, it's a little bit different for them. Like they look at it as like, if we make Champions League, it's like the lottery in a way. If we don't and we get Europa League, we're still very happy. As from our side, the expectation is we have to get Champions League. The pressure is on us more to go and get that spot. So it's you know, the expectations there, the pressure's there. You know, I've always said the whole of this season that I think it's important that we get Champions League and we win the Conference League. I think that would be, if we can do that, them 2 things in these next couple of days, then I think we could sign off this season and say, do you know what? We've actually achieved where we need to be, where we should be in terms of us as a club at this moment in time. And then, like Ab said, it's important to see what we do when we go into the window. Are we going to make the right decision makings on signings and things like that? That's another story in itself. We'll have to find out and wait and see, you know.
Yeah, I'll give everything you just said. Everything you just said. In my opinion, your world just disappears and I put it in chess. Maybe you can, if you have my Twitter, my Twitter is in the link below. So follow my Twitter up and then DM me your URL. I'll do that way, yeah? Do that for me, bro. So do that now, quickly. Sunderland has won. I'm just about to get it up just before I respond to Jem. So it looks like they scored last minute as well, which is mad.
Okay. Fair play.
Great goal as well. Great goal. Sunderland are back in the Premier League. They scored late winner.
That's an old school one.
Seen it now. Great finish, man.
That's a very old school team that's used to be in the Premier League, man. Yeah, I remember the old days. Remember the old days with Sunderland.
You definitely win Europa because teams were used to the trouble. Yeah, the thing is, I don't want to be in that competition. Spurs won it, and if we won it the year after, it doesn't really mean much. We don't want to be in the Europa League. I'm not doing an Arsenal thing because we've actually won it before. Arsenal, they look upon these trophies and scuff their nose at it like they won it before. It ain't the case for Chelsea. We've been there and done that. I mean, I don't want to be in the Europa League, I'll be honest with you. But I'm not going to lie to you, man, it's tough one tomorrow, man. 1 minute I'm thinking, I talked to my boy just now, saying 1 minute I'm thinking we can win both. Then I'm thinking we'll lose one. And I feel like we'll lose this weekend and we'll beat best in the week, the bittersweet. Then I'm thinking we'll lose both. This week is a lot of permutations, man.
Listen,
And
you think we'll lose every game, bro? Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah, he's a little bit negative at the moment, isn't he? He
Listen,
is. Yeah.
Kez is the type of person where if a step 7 team played against Chelsea in an exhibition match, he'd expect them to slap us 3-0.
I don't believe in the jinx word, but I just feel like when you project things, they actually can happen. And I feel like.
So why are you projecting us to lose them? That makes no sense.
Because then it's like the opposite will happen, isn't it?
No, because you just went against the opposite to what you just said.
No, but what I'm saying is like, you know, when you say things, yeah, and you think they'll happen, I thought the universe it flips it on his head and it goes, nah, you can't have it like that.
I got my view on this, but we need to win. If we win and we do a match reaction, I'll tell you what my view is on that because I've actually got I don't want to say it yet. I want to wait.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. I know what you're referring to. Don't say it, Jem. Don't you dare utter that on the stream. This is live to many people. No, we're not doing that. Let me just say this, yeah? So, Abs, obviously, shout forward. I think he is there, but he's busy then. Cool. Jem, Abs, Abs, yeah? Let me ask you a question.
Are you there? You got to unmute yourself, man.
Knackered.
Yo, man's in it. My bad, I'm a bit late still. It's been a hectic day, but I'm here. No face coming that, but you might know what I look like in it, so yeah.
Pause. Anyway.
Why is that a pause? What do you mean? Like, when I see my face,
the way you said it was bad, man. I said you might know what I look like, innit? I was like, raw, like
what? Like, sorry, man, but listen, the pressure's getting to my man, innit? Because it's crunch time in it of the season. I hear it, bro. It's a tough listen. It's big games, innit? Like these are massive, massive games for the season. Like they're the season defining, and unfortunately, we've been pretty shit when it comes to the big games. For me, obviously we beat Liverpool. That was great, but I always said that there was like a small asterisk on that because they were partying, and we've seen since then they've lost every game other than Arsenal. But Arsenal was shit. They didn't beat them. Fair enough. Every other team's beat them. Brighton's beat them. Obviously, we beat them. So they've not been great post winning the league, right? Then we went and lost to Newcastle, which was a big game. And yeah, 10 men and all that. It was a very valiant second half. That was great. But for 30 minutes with our first 11, and that's probably our best team, being honest. Other than Fofana, you can't say anybody else was missing. That was our best team there for 30 minutes.
What
and we were getting outplayed.
I wouldn't use the Newcastle away game as like a big pointer because no one goes there and does well. But that doesn't excuse us going there and doing well. But I wouldn't look at that game too much and go like, oh, we lost to Newcastle in the first 30 minutes. That is kind of standard when you go Newcastle on it.
To a degree, right? But I would have just felt like, given how we played against Liverpool, maybe we could have carried that in and played a bit better. Yes, you can lose to Newcastle.
By the way, I'm not
end
saying
of the
we
world.
should go down in 2 minutes. I'm just saying that no matter how we lost, Abs, you lose, innit?
Yeah, I hear that. But the thing is,
we could have played well for 70 minutes. You can see the penalty from Sanchez. It doesn't really matter, innit?
I hear all that, but the thing is, my thing is like, okay, that was another big game. We didn't quite pass it, right? Even though there were some good moments in that.
Exactly. So why are these men calling me negative then?
But my point is that then it goes to then United, and United we play like shit. We play like absolute shit against one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, look what they've done in the European final. These cunts went and gave Tottenham their first trophy in 17 years. The absolute scrubs. I mean, to be fair, I don't want Spurs to win. I wanted United to lose more because for me, they can do more with the money. Like Spurs in the Champions League with that money, that clout. That's like a virgin with Nicki Minaj in a hotel, bro. He's not doing nothing with it. He's not doing nothing with all that arse, bro. So it really don't matter to me that they're in there. But the fact that they ended their trophy drought is kind of crazy. But that being said, it's all about us. We need to go and make sure we join them in the Champions League because we know what we can do in the Champions League. And we need that money too because we need to go and make some big signings in the summer. So it's all on these 2 games. Like I said, our record in big games is not very impressive. But we got to get it done by any means necessary, man. Because Forest, they're tough, but then they themselves are not even in great form. So we got to go there and win.
Let's talk about the game in isolation, Abs. If you're there, yeah. How do we beat Forest? Like, what do you, if you've seen them recently? By the way, let me give you their record because I went through. I think with Jem recently. I was speaking to a big panel. We went through the games, yeah. Let me give you Forest's record just to give you a bit of context at home to see why I go on for them, innit? Because their record at home hasn't been that great, innit? Cool. Nottingham Forest, yeah.
They lost to Everton the other day.
Yeah, I want to go through it, bro. I want to go through it. Listen to this, yeah. They drew at Leicester 2-2. They drew at home to Leicester 2-2. They lost to Brentford 2-0 at home. What other game are you looking at? They lost to Everton 1-0 at home, and they just about beat Man United at home 1-0. So at home, they're clearly not as confident. And what do you think that is down to, man? Do you think it's down to like they have to be the aggressor and they can't do it because they're playing a low block, innit? Do you think that's what it is? And will that benefit Chelsea if they aggress us a bit more and go for the game?
Would you want me to go first, or then someone?
Yeah, go on, Abs, because you haven't said anything for a while, innit?
All right, cool. Well, here's my thing when it comes to the first thing, right? So now, the reason why their form recently has been a bit poor is because it's a very simple explanation, by the way. So, look, in general, in the Premier League, and we all know it's because we've all watched the Premier League for a while now, innit? In general, every single year, what happens is every team apart from the champions, really and truly. In fact, the champions are included in this. Every team in general goes through a downturn period, innit? They go through a period where they're not playing too well. Now, if you look at Forest so far this year, they didn't have a particularly bad spell up until around May, because at this point they were, maybe they had one result here, another bad result there, but it wasn't like a consistent bad period of form. Like, for example, you know how Villa at the start of the season was shocking, or Newcastle at the start of the season were also poor, or Chelsea between December and February were very poor, just as an example, right? Even that time when City was getting slapped up. So first, all that's happened was that period, that little rough patch, which they were supposed to have, it's just come to catch up with them. That's all that's happened. So that's why recently their form has been quite bad. And it's come at the worst possible time, because you don't want to be dropping in form by the time, the run comes in. You don't want to be doing that. So
yeah, 100%, yeah.
So that's where that's my explanation as to why I believe Forest have fallen off. Because as I said, every team apart from maybe Liverpool this season, because Liverpool the only team who've not really had a consistent bad patch. Every team has had their bad patch, and all that's happened is Forest just had to pay their debts. Thankfully. Because if they didn't have to pay their debts this season, then they probably would have comfortably secured this Champions League place, and it wouldn't even be a convo. We'd be fighting for Europa League. So, yeah, man, that's all that's happened, and long may it continue. Hopefully, it continues.
Yeah, it's good for us, like you said, because we play them.
And
but I feel like tomorrow, I think Chem or Ads can respond to this. Yeah, I feel like because at home you've got to be more aggressive. Like Man United are crap as well, and because we're at home, the fans are behind you. You're kind of expected to attack the game a bit more, and they don't play like that. They play more in transition, innit? That's how they play. I feel like if that's the case, and the fans are going to be willing them on, they need to win. The manager's, by the way, the manager's not going to be on the sideline, by the way, which is a good thing again. So the energy and intensity might drop a little bit by like 2-3%, which will make a big difference. I feel like it could suit Chelsea that a team has to come out to play us, because they can't sit back at home because they need to win more than us. And by the way, guys, for context, if they win, they might not still make it.
Yeah,
they need to win convincingly.
Yeah, like I said to you, though.
3-0, by the way.
Oh, Forest. Like I said to you, the fans seem to be very
good. Channel, and all of them have predicted 3-4-0, more out of realism than hope, because they have to win 3-4-0. They can't win 1-0.
They have to beat us 3-4-0, did you say?
100%. Check it. It's true.
Anyway, relevant to them.
It's not even
anyway.
That result, it is.
Yeah.
That is relevant to us, by the way, because they have to attack us a lot.
No, but Ches. First, the way that First get into the Champions League places is they have to beat us. Then they have to pray that Man United take something from Villa.
That's the same as us, though. That's the same as us.
No.
No, we're kind of in control of it, don't we? We've just got to match what we're doing.
We don't need any other results to go on our way. If we win, we'll be in.
You might have proven my point. They have to win convincingly and hope another team.
No, they don't have to win convincingly, Ches. They just need to win and hope someone else.
They just got to win. Yeah.
No, but no, you're not getting it. They need to win, yeah, Wait, how
Wait,
many
just bring
points
up
do
the
they have?
table in it just to like ice this because
Yeah,
I feel like if they win, I don't know if they're level on points or what they'll be a point
No, let
above
me
us.
get table for people. Let me get table
If
for
Chelsea
people.
lose to if Chelsea lose to Villa and Villa lose to Man United,
I know
Forest go for it.
I'm not going crazy, by the way. I know exactly
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm talking
calm. Yeah, that's cool. But I don't think goal difference matters at that point. Then why would goal difference matter?
Yeah, it doesn't. That's what I'm
Let me
trying to
get
say
up
to
for
him. I
people
think he's
then, yeah.
overlooking. He's
You man in the
overlooking at
chat,
the goal
you man on
difference.
the panel. Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're on 60. They're on 65 points, bro. It doesn't really matter.
Listen,
Yeah.
We're on
Chelsea.
66.
Ches. The only listen. This is how Forest.
They're 1 point behind us. They're 1 point behind Aston Villa as well. So it doesn't even matter about goal difference. They're not on the same points.
Goal difference isn't an issue. Forest have a way better goal difference than Villa, by the way. So basically, the only
Confused.
you know what it is, Ches. This is how if we win, for example, against Forest.
He got confused.
The only way goal difference matters is if they draw. They draw and then they need like Newcastle to lose like 15-0
Why
or
was
something.
Wolfie and
Like
them man
that.
predicting 3-4 nils?
I don't know. They're high in it, bro.
What?
Listen, they're
Forest
Forest fans, and they're in a battle for Champions League. They're obviously high, like, and I get it. Like, I would be high too if I was them.
Yeah, but they're also very happy with just getting Europa League. I spoke to some yesterday, and they were like, "UCL is just a bonus." They said UCL is just a bonus for us. If we get UCL,
listen, they only just about survived last season, bro. They had the points deduction. They did well. They kind of rallied towards the end and made sure they stayed safe. Like, they was touch and go for them. So listen, they're in a great position. But again, to Abs' point, right? Obviously, I get it. Teams go through ups and downs through the season. But for me, I think there's a very simple explanation, which is just that these men are feeling the pressure. They had a couple injuries. Chris Wood went out for a little bit. Ola Aina had an injury for a bit as well. And they were feeling the pressure at the moment because it's different. When you're in a relegation battle, there's pressure. Don't get me wrong. There's huge pressure to not go down. But you can win every other week or like once every 3, 4 weeks and you're okay. That's good, actually. But in this kind of battle, you need to win. You need to try and string results together. You need to string like 2 wins and a bounce, go unbeaten in 3 or 4. And that's pressure. That's a different kind of pressure when there's all this expectation. Because they were the underdogs for half the season, which is cool. But now it's coming to crunch time. You got to deliver because now there's an expectation to be in the top 4 because for a long time they were comfortably third. So I mean that pressure came. That pressure came and it's told. And now we are in a pretty good position in terms of the fact that we actually are ahead of them. They need to win. They're missing their manager, and this is such a huge pressure game because you look at what the owner's doing. The owner's flipping, banishing Gary Neville, saying Carragher can't come to the pitch side and all this stuff. So like that's cool and all like that. He's a gangster. I mean, he's a real life gangster actually. But like, cool. He's a G. But like, you can see that he's doing all this madness, right? You can see he's gonna be a bit of like a amped up crowd. They're gonna be hyped, but that hype can easily like boil over, and it can be a bit too much for the game. And then missing Nuno on the touchline, he's like the very calm, measured guy. You know, he's gonna like keep them relaxed and keep them focused in the game. That could be big for us. So listen, we just need to go out there, do our job, apply pressure on these men, and they should crack. They should crack, but it's on us to actually apply that pressure. And then, of course, as always, Jem, take our fucking chances.
Well, that's the bit where we struggle to find out who's going to do that, and we've been waiting for a performance from Cole Palmer to turn up at some point, And this is the type of game where I keep saying keep saying every blimmin' game, we keep saying, when's Cole Palmer going to turn up and just have that game and be the difference? Well, now will be good. No striker, we know, with Jackson being on the sidelines, which means I think you're probably going to see Neto up front with Palmer behind and all that. So we're going to need everyone to turn up and perform. That's number one. It's going to be important. But our better players in the team, we're going to need them to just go up that extra gear. And I'm talking about Cole Palmer. I'm talking about Enzo Fernandez. I'm talking about Moises Caicedo. I'm talking about Cucurella. I'm talking about all these certain individuals that have been performing to a different level throughout most of the season. We're going to need them to be, we're going to need them to do that again. And then when it comes to scoring the goals, listen, man, I don't care how it goes in right now. I keep saying the W is the most important thing. I do want us to, I'm not massively over concerned about the performance. However, I think we're going to have to perform because going to that ground, they're going to have that energy from the fans anyway. Let's be serious. It's a bit like our stadium. When you look at it, it crowds over the top of the pitch as well. It's tight as well. It's congested. So at the end of the day, it's going to be one of them for me where it's like, we're going to need to be on our game. We can't be turned up like we did against Newcastle for the first 30 minutes, not being able to put 1 and 2 passes together. And Sanchez, listen, 4 good games in a row. I'm hoping he can just have one more good game that we're going to need and not allow it to be one of them bozo days that causes us a problem, moving forward Champions League. So it's going to be an interesting game. You know?
can't listen. This is a win that's needed for multiple reasons. Number one, of course, for the benefit of the club. Number two, I need, and big up to him because he's a good guy. But when it comes to his team, he waffles way too much. I need Josh in the mud. I need him in the mud badly because this guy has run his mouth and chatted so much shit about us for the past year and a half. I need him mudded. Like, it needs to happen. I need him to be
Don't
playing.
forget though, rivals didn't think we would make Champions League as well. So just remember that as well. Like,
No,
that's
I know.
another
It's funny. Jem.
Oh,
Him
really?
and Ticket, if you don't know, Josh is a Villa fan, innit? And I don't know what it is, but he's taken offense to Chelsea for some reason. Like, he just loves to chat shit about us first, whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, he needs to be mudded for the greater good because, I even told you, Ches, I would rather, if I could choose who goes through, it would be Forest, Chelsea, and City going to the Champions League. If it was up to me, obviously that's not what's going to happen because Newcastle won't lose to Everton at home. I don't think so, at least.
That would be easy though for them.
And so as far as I'm concerned, we just need to we just
this time tomorrow we're gonna be in D-Day, man.
Yeah, because we have to win. Now we genuinely have to. Do you know the consequences? If we don't win, the consequence of it would be a disaster.
No, bro, it's going to be a cooking thing. Because let me tell you this.
We're gonna get
the so-called Chelsea fans online, they're going to have a meltdown. And then you're going to have the Chelsea fans ourselves. We're going to have a meltdown. The rivals are going to cook us in the frying pan. But yeah, Wolfie just joined. Perfect timing. Yeah. And it's going to be a long summer. And even if we do win the Conference League, we won't even care. So we'll have a trophy, we'll be celebrating it, and we ourselves will be like, yeah, we didn't get Champions League though. So I'm saying, we ain't gonna care like that. That's the reality. So if we don't win tomorrow, it's literally a case of do or die. Like the seasons, if we don't win tomorrow, forget the final. Who cares? Like who actually cares?
I do.
I care if we get Champions League as well. Then there's a double thing in it. But want to be Chelsea, that's what Josh is. Everything he talks about us feels the hate. I hear it. He's jealous. I hate to see it. What do you mean missing Nuno? He's going to be there, no? Bro, he's sidelined, G. He won't be in the stand. He'll be in the stand. He won't be on the sideline.
Well,
if we get for Yusuf, I think we're going to go for Gyökeres, potentially. Big up Wolfie just joined. He made it back in time from his little funfair thing. Yeah?
Bloody hell, that was fun, bro. 10 freaking nephew and nieces, man. That was good fun.
I mean, what choice? Nephews and nieces or Chelsea or Chez's stream? It's quite an easy option, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, I'm glad you watched.
I don't know who chats more shit, man. 7-year-old kids or you, bro?
You got to take a win, innit? You got to take a win. You know what I mean?
Oh no!
Big pause on that one, though. Big pause. But anyway,
this guy in his pauses, fam. Yo, Ches.
He's just come in and just tarnished you on your own channel, brother.
Yeah, I've got to get that young kid stigma away from the channel Lele. We're not having that. Anyway,
there's a pandemic, man. Then we've got to be careful with our words, innit?
I think when pandemic.
How are you, boys? Though, how are you? Joking aside,
you saying we're good, man. We're just saying how depressing it's going to be if your team decides to turn up tomorrow.
I just want to fast forward 6 p.m, boys. I'll be honest with you, man.
That's what I'm saying. This time tomorrow, we're gonna know who's going through, man.
Now we won't. There's still what? We just kicked off.
No, it'll be coming up to full time now, G.
Now it'll be 6, man. Kickoff's at 4, isn't it?
No, kick us up 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll be 25 minutes left. Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
It's crazy.
This time tomorrow, one of us is gonna be having a sweaty chair. If
Right, both of us, it's going to be one of them tight games, man.
You know how mad it is, man.
It will be one of them tight games.
Man, what we were saying? We were just saying before how, like, you, man, have to be the aggressors, right? And I've looked at your home games. Ad's made a good point about the pressure of your team. Let me ask you a quick question before I continue. Do you think you've dropped off at home especially because of pressure? Or do you think it's because, like, you just deserve this low because every team has a low, like Abs is saying? So Abs basically just said it's natural. Every team has a down period. Yours is now. Everyone's had a down period other than Liverpool. Ads is more saying it's more pressure. Do you think it's one or the other or like a bit of both? In your opinion? Is he there? Is he frozen?
He's frozen, man.
He's frozen.
Yeah, he is.
What else back?
Hello. Can you see him? You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with this camera. Yeah, no, I think it's neither, bro. I think it's the opposition we've faced, because the teams we've struggled with in the last few weeks have been a Leicester, a Palace, a Brentford, and Everton, all low possession based teams. We can't break teams down if they give us the ball. That's the main takeaway point I've had over these last few games. And, even Palace, they were away, they weren't at home, so I'd put them. Obviously, Palace are playing fantastic football, but they're still a low possession based team. Where we've had our success throughout the season is when the opposition have the ball. You know what I'm saying? So when they've got the ball, we can counter the space in behind the defensive line. But when we got a team in front of us defending their goal, we're clueless. We're clueless on how to break them down. Usually, like on the teams where we've had that happen in the opposite fixtures, say earlier on in the season, usually a set piece. I think we're the highest scorers from set pieces this season. So like a set piece, a corner, a dead ball, we break it down. Nothing direct, but just got like, crosses into the box, etc. So I'm not reading too much into the form. I do think pressure has played a part, and I do think Einar being injured was a huge miss. He's been back now. He hasn't looked match fit to me. But I think all of them, I'm not like dismissing any of the reasons you said. They all play a part. But the main one is the teams we've faced, man. These are like harder for us to play than a Man City or a Liverpool or something, because at least they've got the ball and then they'll leave us that space in behind. And I kind of feel like that's probably where you guys fall into. I don't think you're as quick on your build-up play. I think there's a lot of side ball, a lot of moving the ball.
We play a possession-based style to a certain degree. We don't.
It's a patience sort of style of football, really.
So that won't happen against us. And most of our games we've lost haven't been because of transition. They've been because of like individual mistakes. That's where you'll capture. What I would say to you, Wolfie, is the difference is yes, we're not Everton, but you actually have to be aggressive this game.
We won't.
And that's the problem. If you're not, I don't know if you picking us off is going to be good enough for you in terms of your point of view. I don't know if that'll be good enough. Do you think that game plan will work against us?
I think it will be 2 games within a game. I think the first half, we will want you to have possession. I don't think Nuno's going to be in a rush to try and win this, 3, 4, 5-0. If you give him a 1-0, he'll take it. I think 20, 30, 40, maybe the whole half, you'll see you guys dominating possession, us trying to soak up the pressure and trying to hit you on a counter-attack. That's going to be the game plan. Now, if we get to the 70th minute and it's still 0-0 or 1-0 or whatever it might be, then I think both teams have to release the handbrake, and you're going to see a bit of a basketball match, because a draw might be good enough for you, but not guaranteed. You got, Villa are expected to beat United. Newcastle expected to beat Everton. Man City should be able to get a point. So I think it's going to be cagey for 70 minutes. And I don't think Maresca's going to over go for it off the bat either, because of that insurance policy, depending on what's going on in the other games. I just think the first half's going to be a real chess match, man. You guys in possession, probably a lot of sideways balls in and around the halfway line. When you get into our final third,
say is, though, if we score first, you're in big trouble.
If you score first, I think it's done. But if we score first, I think you're done as well. Like, the first goal kills it, because you will then have to overexpand, and we will be better on the counter attack. And Nuno has no problems going to a 5-back, 1-0 up, 30 minutes into a game.
If you get the lead, I can see you guys are stinking out.
Yeah, and I just don't see with us 1-0 up. My worry from your perspective is who's getting your goal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the worry. But my worry from my perspective is, can we sustain the pressure you'll put on us in the first half without conceding?
It's gonna be key, man. I feel like the 2 boxes, obviously, it's football. Shout out. Who made the obvious quote again? Michael Owen. Like, the 2 boxes are going to be important, obviously. But I feel like the goalkeepers will be very, very key, man. I feel like if Sels has another good game like he did last time, we might be in trouble, because we might actually create openings. And go on, Jeb. Yeah, we actually might create openings against you, Wolfie, in the first half. like we usually do. But the difference is we just don't take them away, and the
I
game
don't. Yeah,
becomes. Go on, Jem. Yeah,
I
take it away.
don't. I don't think. I think the problem for us, and you saw it against Newcastle, and it's not just Newcastle because we always do this, is that our tempo in the first half is really poor. We don't seem to move the ball well enough. Like, we keep the ball, but what we're doing with it is my problem. You know, it's not enough tempo to try and get in behind and try and make, create chances, cause initial problems in the first half. And that's my only real worry with the first half, is that, you guys might give us the ball and allow us time, but like Ches said, we've got individual bozos that can sometimes just switch off for a second and make one silly pass out the back, and then because we're all out of position, it's all mayhem, and you take your chance. And that's the worst case scenario for us, because if you do score for something like that, you're right. I think we're going to find it very hard to then break you down in and after. And without a striker as well, we can't go long, because we've got Neto up there, most probably, who I think is going to start up there. You guys are too physical for us. We're not good at corners, because again, you're going to bully us physically again from that, and free kicks, in my opinion, as well. We just haven't got the heights. The only thing we can do, in my opinion, is technically move the ball, the tempo, move the ball quicker in and around you. Try and find the Enzos and Palmers in them pockets, and with our wingers like Madueke and potentially, I don't know who will be on the left, if it's George or Sancho, just be as direct as possible. But rather than crossing the balls where we're just looping them in, where you can just deal with it, because we haven't got the height now, I think we're going to have to do a lot of cutbacks. It's going to be people arriving onto it, if you know what I mean, from sort of outside the box. And that's where I want Enzo Fernandez, that's why I want Cole Palmer to then make the difference in their moments, because if they can do that, then I think we'll create a fair few good chances. I spoke to 2 Nottingham Forest fans yesterday, and they said the one issue that they have with their team is that the old defensive midfielder, that area there, isn't strong, like in terms of they don't feel that your midfield, the guy that sits in front of your defense, is strong enough to deal with the person that's, like if it's Enzo or Palmer in the pockets, to be able to find the space and then drive at your defense. And he finds that a bit of a worry, they said to me yesterday. So if that's the case, then we've got to use that as a weakness for you guys, and we've really got to stretch the pitch. We can't always go down the middle, because I think you'll just congest it, especially if you go into a back five. But it's about us for me, the biggest thing in everything tomorrow is just the tempo. Just move the ball quick, give 1-2s, get into the box, crush the box, put numbers in there, and just keep the balls on the floor. Don't whip balls in and try and hope Neto's going to be whoever it is, Milenkovic in the air. It's pointless. It's just wasting, it's just wasting attacks for us. And then from your side of things, it is about the counter. It's about Elanga. It's about Gibbs White. It's about all these guys find themselves in them spaces when we lose the ball in possession further up the pitch and hitting us in them spaces. And they've been so good at doing that this season. They've hurt so many people. Callum Hudson-Odoi off the left. I know Ads is one big fan of him. He's been given a lot of problems going the other way. So from that point, from my perspective, it's about how quickly can we nullify you guys from working your way up the pitch when we lose the ball, and how quick can we win the ball back. We've got to limit it, We've got to limit the chances of you guys getting the balls on the counter and hurting us,
I think you're bang on. For me, I think it's an advantage. So I was just a point on Jackson.
Yeah, go on.
I actually think it's an advantage that Jackson is suspended, because if Jackson was playing against us as a straight out 9, I don't rate him anyway, but as a 9, I think Milenkovic and Murillo between them just score. You're better off with a false 9 with like a Neto to play in between the lines. So is it going to be Sangare who tracks him, or is one of the centre backs going to come out to meet him? That could create pockets of spaces. And I think what you're saying is right, bro. Like, I would, if I'm Chelsea tomorrow, shots from the edge of the box are a must. I don't think you can whip the balls in. Like you said, Milenkovic is going to bat all of those away all day long. Physically, and by height, he's got it as well. But cutting it to the edge of the box, getting shots. Palmer can hit him. I know he's had a bit of an iffy second half to the season. You got plenty of midfielders who can take those long range shots, and you'll get plenty of them. Eventually, one might go in. So I think you're right. I think that should be your tactic.
Yeah, literally, I was just about to ask Ads on the tactics. I was just about to ask him. We've seen Ange in the final change things up and surprise a lot of people who wouldn't expect it. Do you believe Maresca will do this? Not do you think he should, but do you actually think he will make a change where we drop the line a bit and maybe go a bit more defensive? And to answer Jem's point, Chelsea in the first half always see games. So what the tactic is, I've noticed, is we kind of like see out games. So Wolfie, what we like to do is in the first half, we like to keep it congested and tight, not really expose ourselves. In the second half, we usually make changes tactically, to get the win. So Against Newcastle, so it is a bit too slow sometimes, I do agree. But against Newcastle, that was the game plan. And obviously, Jackson got sent off, which meant we couldn't execute it. But, Ads, do you think he will change it up? Or do you think he'll go with play your best, boys? Let's do the best we can and we'll win the game that way?
I do think there'll be some tactical tweaks.
If so, what do you think it'll be?
I mean, to be honest, if you look at our last few games, we haven't always been on the ball as much as we'd expect. Against Liverpool, we played quite a lot of that off the ball. Now that can happen against Liverpool. They like to be a ball dominant team, but we actually opted to play quite a lot off the ball, especially once we got the first goal as well. But then even against Newcastle, same thing. We played quite a lot off the ball. Maybe that was down to them actually doing that. But against United, we saw it. United off the ball. United first 25, 30 minutes, we played quite a lot again off the ball. So I feel like against Forest, yeah, we know that they predominantly like to be more on a counter, but again, they're the home team. But they are going to kind of be wanting to press the issue a bit as well. So I do see us actually at times letting them have the ball more than we usually would and not going for the full press. I thought we'll maybe like set up in the mid block at times, and maybe hope to try and set up some counter attacks because we know that our players aren't the best when it comes to like trying to break down a deep block, a low block. But if we can give them the opportunity to push out a little bit, then we can use the pacing behind of Neto, Madueke, George has got a decent pace. So I feel like that's something that we can utilize. I will say again, as a Nigerian, I rate Ola Aina. He's top. I think for me, he's been the best right back this season in the league. I'm surprised that people are giving it to Munoz and people like that. Even though again, there've been some good candidates, but Aina's been class. But him injured, you can get at him, and I've seen it in an AFCON final where Adingra ripped him to shreds.
Well, I saw him play last game though.
Yeah, but he's still been back for 3 weeks. Himself.
Yeah, he just doesn't look match sharp.
He doesn't look quite at it, and I just feel like if we can just get a left winger who's going to go at him 1v1, then I can at least test him in that way.
Sancho will definitely do that, by the way. 100%.
Sancho can do it on his day when he's going for it. He can do it because we know he's good technically. He doesn't lose the ball often, but it's about actually going for it.
You can't scuff your nose at like Sancho one-on-one. Can't give fullbacks.
Sancho, broski, yes, Sancho. Listen, okay, look, forget the fact that I cannot stand or rate Jadon Sancho like that for a minute. Bro, the guy, when he's taking on a man, what he does is he's just like, pass back. I don't remember the last time he's attempted to dribble past someone.
In football, this is more technical, but that's a facilitator, bro. That's a good thing. That's what you want against Forest.
But that's the point he's making. We need him to take him on and actually go at him and actually try and beat him down the line. Get separation.
What Wolfie's saying, which I agree with him, where you have a Neto in the 9 who drops in and around that pocket. Sancho.
I didn't even agree with that though, because Jackson's more of a false 9 than Neto. Again, Jackson's the more natural striker. For me, he's not even a proper striker. But when Jackson plays in the 9, he likes to drop in. We know Neto technically isn't all that, especially in tight spaces. So his game is going to be more about running in behind, playing on the last man, he's a great presser, cool. But he's not going to drop into pockets like Wolfie was saying. I don't think he's going to do that.
We won't leave the space in behind. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. For me, Neto up front, other than pressing and harassing guys, he's not going to be that effective. For me, he's not going to be that effective against a low, especially when Forest are that deep. There's no space for Neto to run in behind. And Neto dropping deep isn't really going to affect the game.
They have a low block. They play low block, bro.
Exactly. So I'm saying Neto up front isn't going to be much use.
Behind is the crowd. There's no room to run into.
Oh, there's no. Exactly. Did you watch the West Ham game? Like, they don't have space.
That's my point.
The space is in the middle, which is why he's saying you need someone to drag someone out so that there's more. So you occupy maybe a space in the middle.
And I agree with that premise, but Neto hasn't got the tools to do that job. That's my thing.
I think he definitely can.
He has done it a couple of times this season. I remember at Brighton when we went away. I know we lost the game, but what he did very well is that he pulled the defender out of his role, but then pulled himself to the right. And then by doing that, it kind of confused the defense. And then you had people like Palmer, Enzo, and whatever crashing the box when he received the ball.
Chances
on the transition on the right. He will move around a lot. His job isn't about getting behind and being physical and like trying to win. It's about him coming into them holes and then allowing whoever it is to try and get in behind him to try and make space. That's what I think we're going to try and do, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
As you're saying, overall, you're saying that we will, like you've seen the past few games, relinquish possession on purpose, give them the ball. Because on the ball, I wouldn't say Forest are the greatest team on the ball. They haven't got a lot of technicians like that. They've got a lot of
terrible on the ball.
Yeah, you got a lot of pacey players, a lot of P&P, no pun intended. If you know what I mean.
I mean, Callum Hudson-Odoi can be a problem on his day if he gets
Wait,
the ball.
where was the pun,
He's
though?
not fully fit. He's not.
No,
fully
but
Wait,
fit.
hold on. Where was the pun?
I did,
This guy.
I don't know why you want to laugh. You know what I'm trying to refer to. I didn't want to say what everyone knows it is up with Forest, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's
Wolfie
pace
knows
and
I'm
power, man. Just
There's
say
a lot
that.
of man them up front, innit? I didn't want to say what the reason why. So,
Oh my god,
This guy. Listen, I actually have a question for Wolfie in it, yeah. So basically, one of the biggest narratives we've seen this week has been obviously the owner doing a madness. And listen, I rate it. It was some G shit he's done with Gary Neville and Carragher. Like, if you're gonna talk shit about me, why would I then let you into my yard? Like, it don't make sense. So that's cool. Obviously, we see Nuno is suspended for the game, so he'll be in the stands. And for me, I just feel that there's like I can speculate
Nuno's suspended.
Yeah, he's suspended.
Apparently so, yeah. Yeah, apparently. I mean, Ches is the source, so maybe he's wrong on that. I don't know.
No,
I'm taking Chez's word for it.
He won't be on the. He got a yellow card.
If he's not there, that's a problem for you guys.
No, but that's what I'm getting to, right? So for me, I'm just speculating, right? But I feel like it's going to be a very charged, a very amped up atmosphere at the club because they know this is a big game, and obviously the owner's being moving a bit mad. Nuno for me is like the glue. He's like the one who can calm these players down, especially on the touchline. I just wonder for you if you're kind of at all worried that the moment might get to the players since the owner's putting a lot of pressure on. There's not going to be the manager at the touchline, and we know the fans are going to be obviously amped for the game, but also like worrying that this chance at being in the Champions League is going to slip away.
If Nuno is suspended, honestly, I'm very excited by that because I'll tell you why. He got a 3-match ban. I think it was against Brighton. Him and the Brighton manager had some words, and he got a ban off that for whatever reason. Anyway, so the next 3 games after that, we went WWW from him in the stands because he was watching it from higher up. And I'm a firm believer, if you're watching in the stands, you get a better picture of the pitch than the sidelines. Do you know what I'm saying? You can see where the spaces are, where you're weaker in, because you're looking at it not from a bird's eye view, but from a decent angle. Whereas like when I'm coaching my under 14s, man, you're looking at it from the side. You know what I'm saying? So in those 3 games at halftime, what some of the things I was screaming out for, where we were missing a player here or there was pockets there, he could see it as well, and he was addressing it at halftime. So I actually don't mind that. I get what you're saying about the
Do you remember who the 3 games were against? The 3 teams you were against?
I can't remember, bro. I think one was Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
One was definitely Leicester. I can't remember. It was after the Brighton game. So it's either side. I can look it up.
I mean, that's a fair point. To be fair, that is a fair point. Maybe
it was,
you might
it
have
was
them
just playing. His tactics were just slightly different in those 3 games than they happened. Let me just have a quick look. It was around that time we played Leicester. Let me check. So it's quite early.
While you're looking, though, I just feel like definitely this game, the first goal is going to be. I think the first goal might win the game. Like it might just be a 1-0 or it'll be a 2-0 situation. Or at worst, a draw. But I feel like if the team that goes ahead in this game, they're not going to lose. I just feel like there's not going to be that many goals in this game.
So you man trust Chelsea?
Yeah, I found it. So it was Palace at home, Leicester away, and then West Ham at home. So no coincidence, right? We won 1-0, then we won 3-1.
I'm not sure if he's suspended, but I did hear it last game. That's why I said that.
I ain't heard nothing on it, to be honest. And then we beat West Ham 3-0, and then the game he comes back, we lost to Newcastle.
I'm gonna ask this guy. He's laughing.
So is he suspended or not, bro? Like there was nothing in his presser about it.
I swear to you, I'm not going crazy. I heard them say suspended. He's not going to be on the touchline. I was like, what?
Are you sure it's him who's suspended or the owner?
The owner's not suspended. He's not
suspended.
He owns the club.
I don't know. Maybe Chelsea had a little dream or something. The way you pathed yourself to the top 5. No, he didn't even get. Who did we play last? Oh no! There was a ruckus, wasn't there, at the end of the West Ham game?
There was a yellow card given to a few people on the sideline.
I think the club got fined and West Ham got fined for it. Was that what they always call it? Lack of control of your players, whatever it's called.
Yeah, so something's gonna happen next. I'm telling you, I wasn't going crazy. It happened against West Ham, and they were like, "Oh,
I think there was a fine dished out. I think. I don't know. I can't remember, bro.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see. Won't make a difference anyway.
Well, no, it'll be. Trust me, it'll be better. Because I forgot about that. When he got suspended, then he came back and we lost the next 2 games when he was back on the touchline. So we were all saying get another suspension. Just get yourself back into the stands. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just the tactics was so much better in those games. But it's all about what Ches knows, ITK and all that. Ches, isn't it?
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see. But let me just get this. Let's wrap this up soon, man. Pause. How do we win this game, Abs, man?
Bro, there's a very simple way. It's oh my.
This guy is making me laugh, bro.
But why though? Like, it didn't need it. Like, it wasn't required.
Every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Pause. Hands on neck.
Pandemic real, man.
If you know about the struggle back in the day with some of the film tapes when they just stop and start when you had the old TVs, that's what Ches is on with his convos. Every 5 minutes, pause. How do we win this? Here's how we win this, right? So Levi Cole and Robert Sanchez have to forget who they are for 90 minutes and actually look like they're competent footballers.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Levi's been good the last 4 games.
He's always like this. And he always does this.
Okay, he cannot rate Cole, but the last 4 games he's been good, no?
I will not hear a bad word about Colwell, bro. He's a Forest legend.
Cole is a different combo altogether. But listen, we'll say that for another.
He promoted us, man. He scored the winning goal in the final. Has he not been good
the last 4 games?
Legend.
Wolfie. Tell them how he helped Forest get promotion, please.
He just put the most beautiful header into the back of his own net you have ever seen, bro. 1-0 in the final. But the man don't crack on. He did it at Wembley, man. He doesn't care about the big stage thing. That's what I'm saying. He's good for this game, man. It was so in the corner, man. Beautifully directed, top bins, and he gave himself a little mini fist pump, man. This guy is. If he does it tomorrow as well, gets this Champions League. I want Forest to buy him this summer, just out of.
I'm not hearing the Levi disrespect, man. This guy's been in good form of late. Again, people forget this guy is only 21 years of age, bro. Like your favorite centre backs at 21, more than likely they weren't popping like that. So listen, has he had some bad games? Yeah. But unlike a lot of our players, in the big games to end the season, he's actually been turning up. Can't say the same for Palmer in all of these games or Jackson. Hell no, not with Jackson. Another player.
This is why but hear this though. Listen, the Cole thing. Look, that's as I said, that's a combo for another day, innit? I'm a very well documented critic of man. But the way we win this is simple, right? We just don't let Forest get the ball anywhere near the box. So just don't let basically don't let Callum get the ball. Don't let Callum or Gibbs White get the ball. And when our chances come, we have to be clinical. I feel like the person, you know what? There's one player who I think is going to be a wild card in this game, and no one's talking about it, but I think he will be. That's Mark Guiu. Now, hear me out for a minute. No, hear me out. Hear me out for a second.
You two just started laughing when you said that.
It's Mark Guiu. Okay, get it right.
Mark Guiu.
He hasn't even, by the way, he hasn't even played a minute since he's been out.
No, let me tell you where he's.
He's going to do a Mishi Batshuayi. I know what he's going to say. He's just going to
no. Because hear this. No, hear this for real. Now, when I say he's a wild card,
this is going to be hopium, by the way.
It's not even hopium. By the way, I'm not saying that he's going to do anything. This is just in the hypothetical sense that he comes onto the pitch. He has the necessary attributes to at least be a bit of a nuisance to their backline. And you know, sometimes some players, they just need that one game where it all comes together and they just have that one performance where their career kicks on, right? So this is kind of based off of hope and a little bit of logic.
Like I said, hopium.
How many minutes has he played?
None.
I don't know.
Wolfie,
so you're going to put him in your biggest game of the season so far. Are you going to chuck him in?
No, I didn't say that. I said he could be a wild card. I didn't say he'll start. I didn't say he'll be a main player. I just said he could be a wild card off the bench.
That's like me saying Jesse Lingard might come back to Forest and actually put his pom-pom cheerleaders down and do something on the pitch, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, but Jesse's in Korea, though. It's a bit difficult.
Exactly my point, bro. Exactly.
No, but Guiu's actually, he's there. He's there with us.
It sounds like hopium, bro.
No, I told you, it's 70% hopium, 30% logic. There's a method behind the madness.
Yeah, I'll tell you the secret to beating us.
Is that the only way we win?
Huh?
Is that the only way we win after all that?
No, listen, I said he could be a wild card, but for me personally, I think the winner will be someone who I do think this is something that I do think for real. This is just my genuine thoughts. The person who gets the win is someone we won't expect to get it, but it'll be like someone.
Just for Chelsea.
But no, if it's for Forest, it won't be. I don't know. It'll probably end up
being like
Anderson
or something, can it? Like an
no, I
Anderson.
won't. It'll be
Dagger.
Chris Wood. God forbid it's Callum. If Callum
You've been
raps
saying that for 2 weeks, bro.
Listen,
Let
if
it go,
Callum
bro.
raps
Let it go.
impacts us, then I might have to come off this football YouTube.
Guys, this time tomorrow we're gonna find out who's making Champions League, baby. It's peak.
Yeah, for real. You know what's funny, Chess? I told you I wanted it to be Forest and Chelsea because I didn't want Josh. I don't want Josh in Champions League. Josh needs to be all the times and the atrocities he's committed this season.
The thing is, it should have been if you lot had beat Newcastle and we hadn't messed up against Leicester, we'd be playing out a draw this weekend, kicking the ball around, kicking PRPs.
Would have been for the greater good, but unfortunately, that's not how it goes. And I'm sorry, Wolfie, it's nothing personal. Now, I don't have an issue with Forest as a club. You guys,
I'm just saying,
team
bro,
first,
we're not on the same team here.
No, it's true because listen, Forest have done some, good things for us in the past. Like they've beaten Arsenal up a few times, which has always been funny. So, as far as I'm concerned, like it's just business, man. It's not.
But you got one of the worst records against us of the teams we've played since we've come back up.
I know.
Wolfie, forget even that. We got a terrible away record this year, man.
1 in 10, isn't it? 1 in 10 this year.
Guys, we have to just keep the hopium out of the way. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. It's probably gonna be a draw, innit?
It can't be a draw, bro. Then we're not both ourselves
Wolfie,
out.
I'm not saying I want it to be a draw.
I know. I hear.
He's been saying we're drawing and losing the last 6 games, so don't worry about what Ches says.
No, don't do that. Don't forget.
That's not what he's been saying to me, man.
I can't take him serious anymore when he predicts
things. Aside, Jem, stop this, I think it'll actually be a draw tomorrow, low key, because I feel like.
Well, let me just clarify this.
I feel like we'll score first and they'll score an equaliser and go for the win. And
we've lost to Newcastle, but ever since that, we've won games either 1-0 or 2-1. Go and have a look for the last 6 or 7 games.
No, I'm talking about away.
I'm just saying our record shows that we
won one game. Fulham was your only win. You haven't won outside London this year.
It's relevant, right? Because the mentality you need to have away is different. How you play at home, the playing styles and mentality is completely different.
I'll tell you why that's waffle. Because last year, the last couple of seasons before this year, we were always so good away and shit at home. We used to be awful at home.
The reverse still makes sense, though.
We don't. To me, it's tomorrow. We're playing the final away against Real Betis, so it means we're going to probably lose.
No, but
because we're not playing our own ground.
The record for both sides does paint a picture. So if you have a lot of home wins, that does say a lot. And if you got all away wins, it does as well.
Do you know why it don't for me? Because I think that both teams are going to look at this. This is going to have a feel like a final. This is going to have that final feel. So I think there's going to be a lot of. I wouldn't be shocked if at the beginning it's a little bit hesitant. Everyone's like, people like, Forest are trying to attack us and they're not making the final third passes right. And Chelsea are doing the same, losing the ball in silly positions. And, that goes on for the first 20 minutes, half hour. It's going to have that final feel is what I mean. It's not going to be like that. I don't think it's just going to be a complete, what's the word? Flowing game, back and forwards to start with.
But we said this against Newcastle, though. We conceded in 2 minutes.
That's the only one game.
That wasn't last chance to lose.
No, Wolfie. Let's not write history. Before that Newcastle game, we just beat Liverpool. We've gone on 3-4 winning bouts. We were in a position where if we got a result, we would have been very, very comfortably in the top 4. We would have been making it now. A draw today would have been fine.
Well,
it wasn't do or die. It wasn't do or die.
It wasn't the final do or die D-Day shout the title.
No, it wasn't.
But it's more like Wolfie. That game was like, yo, you must not lose.
Yeah, I agree. That was the weekend.
And we conceded in 2 minutes.
Yeah. But you played better without Jackson.
Compared to Newcastle, I thought they'd done very well for that goal. I just think they were so on it and we weren't awake, like I kept saying to her about our own tempo, that they just caught us off guard. Because after that, even down to 10 men, I thought we played really well in the second half. Even though we just didn't score, we just eliminated any chance that they had going forward in that second half. Listen, I think I'll just be quick with this game. I think it's going to go. It could go either way. I think it's going to be one goal that separates it. I think it's going to go for a while where it's, like I said, a little bit edgy. It's going to have that final feeling. Going to be back and forwards. For us, we've just got to stay in the game and control the game as much as we can, in moments, because I do think Forest will have a a part where they might dominate for 10, 15, 20 minutes and, give us problems. Because when the fans are behind them, you know what it's like. They're going to get behind them like it was at Newcastle. They're going to try and, really hurt us on the breaks. They're going to be up for it. And we've just got to match their energy. But for me, I think it's going to be separated by 1 goal. I'm going to go over Chelsea 1-0 because I always back my Chelsea anyway. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be fine margins. It's not going to be an easy game. And yeah, we just got to step up, man. Literally, we just got to step up.
Yeah, so everyone gets a chance to give it like a mini prediction how you think the game's gonna go, and the realistic results. So try not to be too like subjective. Try and be like realistic based on the game state, the players available, etc. Jem's giving his verdict of 1-0, which I think is very fair. To be fair to Chelsea, by the way. Let's go to Abs next because you didn't get to finish off a point before. So Abs, give me how you think the game's gonna go in brief. And your result, do you think actually will happen? Not hopium, copium, that will actually be realistic will happen.
Oh my god. I feel sick. Wow, this is crazy because this literally.
Man, it's a mad thing, I can't lie.
Do you know what?
This time tomorrow, Wolfie, one of us is going to be in the mud.
No, but you know what? No, without even being.
Or we're going to be more in the mud than them.
Or both.
No. Without being disrespectful to Wolfie or to Forest, like, Forest have, they've jumped up, like, what's the word? They wasn't expected to be in this position to begin with. So for them, it's like, even though I'm not saying it's good that they miss out, but it's something which like they can be like, okay, we've just made it. We've been here before. Last year was about to get relegated. This year, but whereas Chelsea, we've, with respect, we spent a whole heap of cash. We've done what we basically bent the rules, loopholes and all that shit, and we still can't make Champions League football after over £1 billion spent. So, listen, I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. I think we'll score right at the end of the first half, and then what'll happen is Forest will probably be putting the pressure on us. We'll score against the run of play. Then they'll get a consolation right at the end, but it won't be enough.
We'll hold on, sort of thing. Okay, I hear that. That actually makes sense.
It don't.
I could see that. We score 2-1 like off. Yeah, I hear it. We hold on
because I think you know what it is, and this is what I will say because I can't say for certainty who, but I know for a fact the first goal will come at the very end of the first half.
Ads, over to you.
Listen, this is a huge game, and whatever happens, listen, Forest have had a great season. I feel like outside of Liverpool, they've had the best season of any team in the league because most people had them in a relegation battle. Some had them getting relegated, so they've had a great season.
Remember that, Ches, if I don't make it. Remember that, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't say that either one of us will be in the mud. They'll be mad because they were there. They were in the Champions League for most of the season, so they'll be mad to miss out. But they're not mudded. They still had an incredible season. Their best season.
Wolfie just say, remember that, Ches. You're getting cooked, Wolfie, either way.
I'm saying, remember that if I don't make it, bro.
The game.
I mean, the shameless people will cook you, Wolfie. We know what it is, but I'll still respect that Forest have had a great season regardless.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate your honesty, man. It's nice to be speaking with some people with integrity for once.
Do you know how shameless Wolfie is if he makes it over us? Don't listen to his sympathy. Gabbo, the games are based on sympathy.
I don't think
if I knock you out, you should be the one cooking yourself, Ches. Let's be real here.
No. I'll be cooking my team. I'm just saying you'll be cooking me extra. Don't say that. You'll be cooking me more. Yeah?
Well, if I'm the one that causes you to miss Champions League, bro, I mean, what are we saying?
To be fair, we would deserve it at that point. We would deserve it.
Go on.
It's going to be a tight game. I feel like first goal is going to be huge. But honestly, the way I'm thinking about the game, I think it's going to be... It has 1-1 written all over it, to be honest. It has 1-1 written all over it. But that does nothing for either team. So realistically, both teams, if it's going 1-1 last 5 minutes going into injury time, they both got to go for it. They both have to go for the win.
Who's going to come on, shout Abs? Gooey's definitely will come on, 100%.
So at that point, it's just about who's clinical. If a chance comes their way in injury time, you just got to take it. And
Mark Gooey winner.
Well, to be honest, if any team's going to be clinical in that moment, it's probably going to be Forest. Because again, I trust Chris Wood to finish over any of our attackers. Again, you might know how much I rate Chris Wood. Wolfie doesn't know, but Wolfie, I actually wanted Chris Wood at Chelsea a couple seasons ago. He's my
You're a man who
laughing at me
knows your
saying that
ball
he's a
knowledge.
fraud. Yeah, and the thing is, I saw all the metrics, I saw how he was playing, and this guy is a proper target man, a throwback number 9, which is a dying breed in today's game, and he's had an amazing season. So, listen, if a chance goes his way in the final minutes, I expect him to bag. So, to be honest, my prediction is actually going to be 2-1 Forest.
Oh.
Okay, realistic. Yes, Wolfie, it's over to you. Because I heard your stream yesterday, and I was watching it when I got my Nando's. A lot of you were saying 3-0, 4-0. I listened to that stream.
I knew you were watching. That's why I was saying it, bro.
I knew, but sensitive,
Nah, look, no chest, no trolling, no nothing. I think whoever goes 1-0 up ends up 2-0 winners. That's how I see it. Because say the team goes 1-0 up, I don't know, call it 60th minute. Last 10 minutes, the other team has to go all out. And I can see whoever that team is getting caught on the counter and going 2-0 down. So I think we catch you early in the first half, if I'm being honest with you. Once you guys start to get comfortable in the game, start to get into your normal flow, I think that's when you'll be your most vulnerable. And I can see us picking off a goal. I then see us going 5 back after that, maybe at half-time or something, holding out, and then catching you late with the Callum Hudson-Odoi dagger, bro. To see it.
So your prediction is?
I'm going 2-0 Forest.
You know the worst thing about that prediction is after the final whistle was blown and you beat us 2-0, we're both going to be upset because Villa are going to beat Man United at OT. And they're going to go
Wolfie thinks this is a win-win. Wolfie, you're not going to make it, bro. You ain't making it. Like, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, either way. No, I will be pissed off if we win and don't make it. I will actually be more pissed off.
Would you be annoyed if you win and don't make it? Because that's not really like...
Because it's our fault.
They would need Newcastle to lose at that point or draw.
Nah, draw. Either team draw. We overtake them.
Okay, yeah. That's you know what, Everton could get something. You know, I wouldn't count Everton out.
Hold on a minute. Everton aren't Newcastle 2 points in front of us? Goal difference.
No, they're on level points with you, bro.
No, Newcastle are 1 point ahead of us.
66. Apart from us, we're on 65.
If they draw and you win, you mate.
So their goal, Newcastle's goal difference is ahead of us. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Newcastle's
and we're not going to overtake that.
Chaz, all I need there's two. Look, Newcastle, they're going to get into that top 4 regardless. It doesn't even matter. But all I need is
that's not a guarantee, bro. That's not a guaranteed win.
I don't think it is either.
No, I think that game's a wrap.
Problem is Tarkovsky and Bramford are both out.
Okay,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man.
Is Isak fit though?
Listen,
50-50.
With tomorrow, all that needs to happen, regardless of the result in the Chelsea Forest game. Obviously, I want to win, but just
yes, he is. But he might
Chelsea to win, and inshallah, what's their names? Man United, you know. Pull sign out.
Yeah, my thing is, Wolfie, yeah, I genuinely believe we'll draw. So I'm not going to waffle and give you the game today. I don't know how it's going to go down, but if I had to give a prediction, I'd probably say I think Forest will take the lead and Chelsea will change a bit of a tactical tweak or something and we'll get a goal. And I think that you'll be the aggressors and we'll actually be the ones on the back foot. But I think it'll be a draw 1-1. And I think that Aston Villa will actually get a draw against Man United. So we'll actually make it anyway. That's been my prediction since last week. I'm going to keep it the same. So I think we'll draw. We'll drop points. But I don't know what it is about Manchester United. I feel like tomorrow they'll just stink it out and just play all right football. And Aston Villa will just crumble.
What out, bro? They've got like 35 points this season. They've not won back-to-back games all season.
But
I said this to my boy earlier, yeah? Hold on a minute. I said to my boy earlier, and this is how it works. In football, things never go the way everyone thinks it does.
Yeah.
That's just football. That's life. Like you could think tomorrow or next month I'm going to do this. It just doesn't go the way you think because I've always said to people, no expectation equals no disappointment. Because when you expect things to happen, it's more likely when things don't happen the way you expect. I don't see a world where City win, Newcastle win, Villa win, and Chelsea and Forest both don't win. Sorry?
I'm saying and City because for me, I hear what you're saying. It's not a guarantee. Oh, okay. Good.
That's
Well,
my point.
that's the point that I'm
I
making.
can't see a scenario where all the cliches or the predictions. The Wolf, you know what I'm saying, innit?
Yeah, 100%. I think there will be surprises.
And Chelsea,
Yeah, there will be surprises. I just don't see it being United because again, HA in the chat is saying they're due a win. They've been due a win all season. They're shit. Like they don't have goals in their team. Like they're not the worst defensively.
If we draw,
they haven't got goals.
Other teams draw, we still don't make it.
But my thing is, I think Newcastle will probably draw, and City away to Fulham is tough, huh?
If we draw and they draw, we don't make it.
No, you do.
I don't have us making Champions League. I don't have us making Champions League.
Yes, you do. If Villa draw and you draw with us, you're in.
You said Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle. No, not Newcastle.
Newcastle got points because we messed up the other day. We can't even capitalize on it.
Yeah.
All I'll say to you about this Villa United one is Villa have only beaten United 3 times since 1999, both home and away.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They're their bogey team. Remember last season they were 2-0 up. They were 2-0 up at halftime. They lost 3-2.
Man United are unbeaten to Aston Villa in 5 games. By the way,
listen, Man United need to, for once in their lives, just not be useless. Just
100%.
don't be useless, please.
I'll be watching that game more than our game, by the way.
There's no way they do us a favor, though. There's no way. Like they just gave Tottenham their first trophy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I'm telling you.
Listen, if
football is a weird place.
I'd be shocked.
All as I've told you, there's just I don't know, man. I feel like
something strange will happen tomorrow. Something strange will happen.
Something will happen. City's not a banker either.
Personally, the strange result I think will come more in the City Fulham game because I think maybe Fulham gets something out of it. Like
again, guys,
they're on the beach.
Back to Forest and Chelsea doesn't benefit us.
No, but if City lose, then it could mean something.
It could, Ches. I'll tell you why. If Man City lose, Villa and Newcastle all win. City miss out.
No, but I'm saying like in terms of like our result with their result. So if City drop and we don't win, is irrelevant.
Yeah, I hear. They're not an insurance. You haven't got them as an insurance.
The only team that we actually care about is Villa because if they drop, it directly impacts Chelsea.
If Villa lose, you're in.
Forest have to win anyway. Forest have to win. Chelsea don't have to win. If Chelsea drop points, Villa's the team we can look at and go, yo, they've done us.
No. If you lose to us,
I said draw.
You're out.
I'll lose. I said
draw. Yeah, if you lose, you're out. Simple as that.
Yeah, I know. I said draw.
Yeah, but we have to match Villa and Forest's result realistically. If we match both, then we're through. Obviously, we need to match Villa by winning. If they win, obviously Forest. If we draw, we're ahead of Forest. If Forest are out. I'm saying if obviously we draw, we're ahead of Forest, obviously. So we just need to then count on Villa to somehow lose. But again, United, it's not likely for me. So we just got to go out there and win.
But like what I'm trying to say to Wolfie is, it might change the game state. So for example, if we go into half time, like we've all said it's going to be cagey, and we found that Man United are winning 2-0 at half time, it might alter the way that we play the game because we don't need to go for it.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of impacts it. So if it's like 1-0 Villa, the other game is 0-0 argument, it ramps up even more. Right now, it ramps up even more. So that's why the other day when Villa beat Spurs, it was a big for us because we had to play Man United after. There was even more pressure. You know what I'm saying? And we were playing 45 minutes, right? So the man them on their phones going, yo, Villa just won, we have to win this game. Hence why we performed so poorly because the pressure was too high. Whereas I think Chelsea crumble under pressure. So if Man United are winning the game, I think Chelsea will play better and therefore win the game. Because pressure's off us. When Chelsea have no pressure, we do well. When the pressure's on us, we usually crumble. So that's why I need Forest to feel like they can win. So that the pressure's on them to then execute their game plan.
Yeah, but this is where it's good that Forest won their last game because I even said this, and I think, I don't know, maybe some of the Forest fans agree with me or not. Playing Forest when they've got something to play for and they actually have to come out and kick ball is much better than if they didn't have anything to play for. Because if Forest weren't in this convo, they weren't in the race for Champions League football, and they were just sat there, it's like it's a wrap for them. All they could have to do is just put 2 banks of form, being like, come break us down.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I kind of agree. And I would say that if we were the team that had to play for the draw, I'd be more worried. because we don't. The mentality for that team still ain't there. You've seen us drop 10-point lead, bro, to 6th place in what,
Yeah, I
6
know,
weeks.
but does that counteract the probability? No.
I just think Forest go into this one. The message from Nuno will be, we've already got Europe. Let's see if we can get Champions League. I don't think there's pressure on Forest. I think there's pressure on you. We've spent $1.5 billion. We have to get Champions League. This will be 3 years without Champions League if we don't win. The pressure's on Chelsea for me.
The pressure is on Chelsea in terms of the project and where we are. But if you're at home, if you win the game, you make UCL, there has to be pressure.
Yeah, but we still may not make it winning, bro.
I know,
That's
but if you do your job and you win the game, then if you don't make it, it's like, yo, we done our job.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's if the scenario was Forest win, we make it, that's pressure on Forest. The scenario is Forest win, please help us, Everton or Man United. That's still not that much pressure.
Nah, we all know you're gonna go for the win.
No, listen, we'll see, man.
Yeah, they're gonna go for the win regardless. But like, I get his point. There's not as much pressure in that.
Yeah,
sense.
it's maybe
sort of like still whatever. But obviously, there's still like there's been a lot of pressure on them the whole time, though. Like in terms of like this running, which is why for me I thought that they dropped a lot of points in that sense. I hear Wolfie's point about the types of teams that's caused them issues, teams that are normally playing off the ball, which maybe we can do to actually exploit that. But I do feel like obviously again with the injuries that happened, and now you're in a proper like top 4 race where winning. You have to go on wins. You have to go and run. You have to go like 3-4 games unbeaten. You have to win 2-3 on the bounce. Obviously, in a relegation battle, a win every 3rd or 4th week is okay.
Exactly.
So I think that pressure did catch up to Forest. But again, I'm still expecting a very tough game. I don't know if Murillo's fit, but obviously Forest's defense is very good.
I think he will be. If he's not, you win. It's that simple.
Wait, ask you guys one question.
Wrap up.
Yeah, this is the last thing now. Do you not think that this could, because someone said this to me and I'm not entirely, and I didn't think of it at the time, but do you think this could end up being a high scoring game?
No,
because both teams aren't clinical like that.
It could get high scoring at the end, the final 10 minutes, but not the first 80.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying for the first bit. I'm just saying that in general, do you not think that maybe we could use
why?
I think 2 max for one of the teams.
Credit to Chelsea and Forest. Both our defenses are quite good.
Yeah.
And we don't play that kind of football.
Yeah.
Anyway, people, great stream, man. It's going to be a classic if we win. If we don't win, it's going to be quite melodramatic, if you know what that word means. It's going to be quite melancholy. But end off here. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Back tomorrow, man. I'll be out with the mandem, so I don't know if I'll stream. Maybe I'll do it on my phone. But I'll see you, man, tomorrow evening, man. It's D-Day. Let's see tomorrow how I'm feeling. I'm either going to be like this or like this. So it's going to be peak. I'm saying. Subscribe to Wolfie. I'm going to put his Forest Fan TV in the description and all the mandem's Twitter as well, because a lot of them do Twitter and whatnot. Forward and Abs in Gem as well. But see you guys soon, man. In a bit. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And tomorrow's game as well.